live Mega Millions drawings every Tuesday and Friday.
Now, focused on you. This is 12 News at 10.
Well, tonight on 12 News, the J-Trans strike continues to disrupt riders across Jackson. Hear why one city leader says enough is enough. And Mississippi Blood Services is asking for your help as the need for blood donations continues to grow. Find out how you can make a difference. Also, the first day of school is almost here for Canton students. And also, a run talks. And is there a deal? We'll tell you all about it. 12 News at 10 starts right now. Well, welcome to 12 News at 10. I'm Jeremy Harrell. All those stories and more are coming up. But first, let's send things over to Chief Meteorologist Ken South.
All right, we're going to see a nice night tonight. Of course, we had a cold front move through over the weekend. It's really rare for a front to move through in August and really make a difference in our weather, but that's exactly what happened. We're headed, I think, for the 60s tomorrow morning. Right now, we stand at 77 degrees. We got a north wind at about 3 miles per hour, and skies will be clear to fair as we go through the overnight. So there we go, 69 at daybreak, and then tomorrow, lots of sunshine. It will be warm, temperatures in the low 90s, but we're going to keep our humidity in check, at least for a few days. At the end of the week, it's going to be hot and humid again. You'll see the 8-day forecast. It's coming up in about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Ken. Well, Capitol Police are investigating after what appears to be skeletal remains that were found inside an abandoned building in Jackson. And firefighters made the discovery after putting out a small fire on Gallatin Street. Now, the case is now being investigated as a death. The remains will be examined as investigators work to identify the person and determine what happened. Well, new at 10, Hattiesburg police are investigating a drive-by shooting that left one person hospitalized Saturday night. Officers say the victim suffered none life-threatening injuries after gunfire erupted on North 30th Avenue. Investigators are now asking anyone with information to come forward. Well, Vicksburg police are investigating after a 19-year-old woman was stabbed in the chest Saturday night. Vicksburg police say she suffered a small puncture to one of her lungs, but her injuries are not believed to be life-threatening. Police have interviewed those involved as they work to determine what led up to the stabbing. No charges have been filed. Well, Jackson City Councilman Kenneth Stokes says that the ongoing conflict between J-Tran union workers and MV Transportation must come to an end. And 12 News, AC Lewis joins me in the studio to discuss exactly what the councilman plans to do in order to resolve this conflict. AC.
Yes, Jeremy. Councilman Kenneth Stokes says that this nearly 4-week-long strike between MV Transportation and J-Tran must come to an end. He says this battle is affecting the citizens of Jackson in a detrimental way. The councilman says that once he found out that the union workers didn't have health insurance, he was disheartened. He says that people rely heavily on public transport around the city of Jackson, and having an outside company such as MV Transportation show little to no care about their workers and the citizens of Jackson is not a good look.
We need this strike to end. People cannot get to doctor's appointments, can't get to the hospital to visit sick people, can't get to the grocery stores, can't get to appointments because of nonsense.
Since the beginning of the strike, MV Transportation deployed additional drivers from out of state in order to maintain as much service as possible on J-Tran routes. Stokes says that he intends on looking at the contract between J-Tran and MV Transportation in order to search for a clause in order to end the conflict and figure out a better solution for the workers.
We'll find the grounds in the contract. It's destroying this city. It's destroying the tax base of this city over nonsense. Let's settle the contract, move forward and move on. If we have gray areas, once the contract is settled, we can work on those gray areas. But to have a strike that continue to go and grow is devastating.
After a 10-hour-long meeting with the federal mediator on Friday to discuss a negotiation between J-Tran and MV Transportation, there was no agreement made. J-Tran workers say they feel as though MV Transportation kept offering the same deal.
We've been living here for a long time, and we deserve better, all right? We just ask for fair wages, better working conditions. They want to continue to put us in a position where we're stressed out every day. There are work rules, there are disciplinary actions. They don't want to support us.
J-Tran workers say they are prepared to hit the strike line again on Monday morning until they get some sort of agreement with MV Transportation that is satisfactory to them. And again, Councilman Stokes says that he intends on bringing this to the next City Council meeting to see if they can dismiss this conflict and move on with the new contract for JTRAN workers, because public transportation is vital for many people. Back to you, Jeremy.
Well, thank you, AC. Well, it's back to school time in Canton. Students across the Canton Public School District will return to the classrooms Monday to kick off the new school year. District leaders are encouraging families to be ready, plan for extra traffic around schools, and help students start the year strong. Drivers are encouraged to slow down and stay alert as students return to school. Well, a special ceremony is set for 10 a.m. Monday at St. Paul CME Church in Bentonia to honor Colonel Donald Berry. A stretch of US 49 in Yazoo County will be dedicated as the Colonel Donald Berry Memorial Highway, recognizing his more than 35 years of service with the Mississippi Highway Patrol. Former Governor Haley Barbour, Public Safety Commissioner Sean Tindall, and other state leaders are expected to attend. Mississippi Blood Services in Flowood is urging more people to roll up their sleeves and donate. Officials say all blood types are needed to help keep hospital shelves stocked for surgeries and other life-saving care.
We really need the community to kind of step in and help us, because blood cannot be made in a tube. It is one that has to be provided by another human being. And if we don't have the humans coming in to do the donation, we don't have the products on our shelves in order to help the patients in our hospitals. Any blood type is needed. We need to have as much of all of those available blood types as we can. We still have patients in the hospitals that need to have these available for surgeries.
Now, officials say every donation has the potential to save multiple lives. Well, President Trump says he called off a major attack on Iran after allies in the Middle East urged him to hold off. He says negotiators are set to meet Monday in another effort to reach an agreement, adding he'd rather see a deal than more casualties.
President Trump says he called off a major attack on Iran after being asked to do so by allies in the Middle East. Take a listen to the explanation he gave for deciding to hold U.S. fire.
It would have been a massive attack. We're all set to go, but when the allies asked to call it off, we got to sort of say, well, let's see. And the reason they asked is I think there's a deal. There's a deal on Hormuz, and then there will be a deal on the nuclear, or you might call it the denuclearization of Iran.
President Trump says negotiators will meet on Monday afternoon to once again try to strike a deal on the issues. The president saying there's no deadline for Iran to make a deal, and that he'd rather the countries come to an agreement so they can prevent more casualties. Of course, this is not the first time we've seen a pause in this fighting with Iran, as leaders say they've made progress on a deal, only for that to then unravel and the area to return to strikes. President Trump continues to insist Iran is begging the U.S. to make a deal. On Sunday, the president of Iran pointing back to the memorandum of understanding that the country signed back in June, saying, quote, "We must strive to compel the enemy to remain committed to what it has signed." This conflict with Iran has now been going on for more than 5 months, and during that time, it's claimed the lives of 18 American service members. At the White House, Hannah Brandt, News Nation.
Here's Kate.
All right, tonight a little bit cooler behind a front that moved through this weekend, and next week will be sunny and dry, but we will also see a warming trend. I'll show you how hot it's going to get by the end of this week in the forecast. It's coming up next.
Sports Zone on 12 News is sponsored by Alpha Insurance.
WJTV is the new home of the CW. Catch all your favorite CW programming, from every NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race to live college football, WWE NXT, plus fan favorite All-American, and the entire CW lineup. Don't miss a moment. Make the switch to watch Mississippi's CW on WJTV, home of 12 News. Watch Melanie's Mississippi, now streaming on WJTV Plus.
All right, nice weather today for early August. The high temperature only in the mid-80s. We started at 68 degrees this morning, and that's because a cold front came through this weekend during the day Saturday. It's rare to get a cold front to come all the way through Mississippi in early August and really make a difference in our temperatures, but that's exactly what happened this weekend. So here's our front currently. You can see that north wind across the entire state of Mississippi, even now all the way down to the Gulf Coast. Now, during the day today, we had some cloud cover behind the front, blocking out the sun. One of the reasons why temperatures were a little bit cooler today. And we did squeeze out a few sprinkles from those low clouds, mainly to the north and east of us, although that activity is now done. And I actually think the clouds are going to be breaking up as we go through the rest of the overnight, which will allow our temperatures to steadily drop between now and daybreak on your Monday. And we are already down to 77 degrees. Rewind a couple of days, and 77 was the low temperature that we were seeing each morning last week. And now this week we're looking at temperatures either at or even below average, thanks to the slightly drier air coming in. We do have those winds now moving in from the north. So this is what we're expecting early tomorrow. Notice the average low is 72. We'll look at Yazoo City, about 5 degrees below that mark at 67. We'll be at 68 down along the Mississippi River, 69 here in the metro, down to about 70 across the Pine Belt. So pretty good start to the day. Now tomorrow will be warmer than today, only because we're not going to see as much in the way of cloud cover. I think the sun's going to come back, but we're still going to keep the humidity in check with our winds coming in from the north at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So there may be a heat index, but it will only be a degree or two above the actual temperature. So here's our weather maker. This is our front continuing to move to the east. There's going to be an area of low pressure here over North Georgia, and I think as we go through the middle of the week, that's actually going to back up a little bit towards Alabama. It's not going to get close enough to us that we will see any significant rain out of it, other than maybe a stray shower over the eastern part of Mississippi and the Pine Belt. For most of us, this is actually good because with low pressure in this position, we get our winds coming back in from the north, and I think that's going to continue to give us good weather at least through the middle of the upcoming week. So here is this trough right in the middle of two upper highs to the east and to the west of us. But as we go through the week ahead, I want you to notice what's going to happen. The high pressure is going to take over. In fact, there you see a little clockwise spin right there over Louisiana and Mississippi. That means high pressure overhead, sinking air, warming temperatures, and that's exactly what we're going to see as the week goes on. It's going to be a slow warming trend. Notice also the heat index is going to be below the danger category through Thursday, although if it gets up to 107 by the end of this week, well, we may need heat alerts going into next weekend. But let's be thankful for this little break that we're getting from the intense heat and humidity. I mean, this is not bad at all, at least through midweek. Now, by the end of the week, yes, we're going to be in the mid-70s in the morning, mid-90s in the afternoon. We'll see a 20 to 30% chance of spotty showers. We'll be right back after this break. Sorry, Scrooge.
Today's time and temperature is brought to you by the Mississippi Lottery. Cash 4 drawings are held daily at 2:30 and 9:30 p.m. Have fun, y'all.
All right, Ken, what we need to know this week?
It's going to be a nice week for early August. We're going to keep the humidity in check. It's going to be nice and sunny and dry. We may see a spotty shower at the end of the week.
All right, we'll look for that. We're going to need it then.
Yeah, we probably will need it by the time we get there, yeah.
All right, thanks, Ken. What we need to know, David, about sports?
Well, it was a beautiful weekend as far as weather is concerned because I was outside for my Frisbee tournament and it all went well, so we'll talk about that because we have to. Got to throw that in there. But we also have, of course, high school football starts this month in less than 2 weeks, and college football starts this month, so we should talk about football. I think we'll do it.
All right, great time of year. All right, thank you so much for watching. Stay with us because after the break, Sports Zone is next. Until next time, make it a good week.
Thank you for watching the TV Explorer. Want more videos? Subscribe today.